Questions?
Buzz, so much early in the season, second chance points were such a big part of the offense. It's been a little bit down the last couple of games. What can y'all do? What's been the focus to maybe get some of that back, if that's what you think is an important key?
I think one of it, for sure, it's important. One thing is probably it's one of the first things that coaches say in the scouting report relative to our team. You can argue that it's arguably our best offense. We were not very good at it at all last Saturday, as you know. We were really good on Tuesday on the offensive glass. I think the other thing is it's not just our forwards on offensive rebounds. It is our forwards on offensive rebounds, and it is our guards on shots at the rim. 40% of our shots against Auburn were in the charge circle, and we shot 40%. You need to finish at a higher rate regardless of your position, whether that came off the bounce or it came off an offensive rebound. But we shot 11 more balls than they did. We shot it poorly again from three, as you know, but we also shot it poorly at the rim, whether it was off an offensive rebound or off penetration.
On the other end, did you feel like Tuesday was one of the better, if not the best, defensive performance that y'all have had, and what's kind of had that trending?
I think it's worth comparing statistically that it was our best overall defensive performance versus the best team we've played. Depending upon what stat you want to talk about, I think the one thing that helps defensive stats the most is when you finish the possession with the rebound. And we did a really good job on the offensive glass. And we did our best job of the year on the defensive glass. Now, some of that is what transpired before the shot that gives you a better opportunity to get the defensive rebound. But our mentality was more in line with what we have to do to give ourselves a chance to win on Tuesday than it was on Saturday.
Are there significant differences in the task you face defending against Kentucky as opposed to Auburn?
Yeah, good question. I would say the similarities would be Auburn is fast in transition, and Kentucky is. What I told our team was, if Auburn is fast, Kentucky is a hallucinogen. And they looked like you did. And I said, when have you guys heard that? And they were like, a long time ago. And I go, what does it mean? And the smart guys were like, it's like a drug. Yeah. And what happens? You hallucinate. Yeah, that's Kentucky in transition. Super duper fast, 14th fastest team in the country. 64% of their shots have been attempted in the first 12 seconds of the possession. And they shoot an enormous amount of shots in transition from three. And so I would say it's similar in regards to the pace, but percentage-wise, it's on steroids. It's even faster. And their perimeter players are faster with the ball going downhill, and they're spraying it and shooting a lot more threes than Auburn does.
Buzz, you mentioned y'all's three-point shooting. So when it goes like that, how do you combat that? What do you do in those times?
I thought we did I think a coach would say, Brent, the first thing is, if you're shooting it so poorly, what types of shots are they? Like, are some of them bad? The word we use is unpredictable. Part of our offensive rebound success has come from predictable shots. Brent's playing and we know Brent's game and when Brent is going to shoot. And so if I'm an offensive rebounder on Brent's team, well, if I know Brent's about to shoot that ball, then we consider the rise of the shot to be the start of the next possession. So as soon as Brent rises to shoot, if Brent is shooting a predictable shot, I know I'm on my way to do my job on the glass. So I think the first thing you look at is, was that a predictable shot? And then I think the other thing is when you're struggling from three, what percentage of your shots are from three? Can you get a foul? Can you get to the charge circle and create rotation? And was that three out of rotation, or was it a long closeout or a short closeout that created that? We were much better Tuesday, even though we still shot it poorly, than we were, I thought, on Saturday in that regard. And so we shoot every day that we don't have a game after Christmas. We have charted every shot. Every day we play a game from 18 spots, every player. So I think it's the types of shots. Were they predictable? Was it coming out of rotation? And do you have the ability to draw a foul or create rotation so I can give somebody a better shot?
I know, like you said, y'all keep track of all the shooting numbers.
Like too much,
right?
as you know.
Is there a large difference in what the shooting percentages look like in practice than I know it's apples and oranges, but
So we chart obviously every shot with Buzz. We chart every shot when it's 5-on-5, and then obviously everything from the game. And I think predictable is the word we use. And then without explaining too much, I didn't answer it completely with Olin. I didn't lie. I just didn't explain all of it on purpose. But we kind of have that same theory relative to defense. So Brent's on the other team. We know Brent is a three-point shooter. What type of three is Brent going to shoot versus our defense? And so a portion of that is catch shoot or threes off the bounce. And statistically speaking, we chart that defensively, and then we also chart that offensively. No matter what team you're talking about, you're going to shoot a higher percentage off the catch than off the bounce. And so we need to do a better job in both. But we also probably need to shoot more off the catch. But in order to shoot more off the catch, that means somebody's got to create rotation so that somebody can shoot it off the catch, if that makes sense.
And he's leading the SEC in rebounds right now. You touched on it during non-conference, but what does his continued impact mean for y'all down low?
It's hard to quantify. As I've said to you guys before, I haven't been doing it a long time, but I've been doing it for a while. I don't know that I've ever had someone on our teams that have impacted the game without the ball the way he does. So I was telling him, he can't go home at Christmas, and so he was here, and I was telling him after Houston Christian, before Prairie View, he's never wanted to start. I've never heard a player say that, ever. So we prayed about starting for a long time. And that's probably not the right thing to say either. But he is super duper unselfish to the point that he wants Ford to shoot every ball. And if Ford doesn't shoot every ball, he wants Boots to shoot every ball. And you start watching this. When he can't get the offensive rebound and he's playing volleyball, if you'll watch him, when someone shoots it, as he's shooting it, he is a whiz at tracking it. But as he's tracking it, he's trying to find where Ford and Boots are. because as he's going to get it, if he can't get it, he's trying to spike it to them. I said to him post-Christmas, so you're going to lead, currently you lead the nation in offensive rebounding. You have 54 offensive rebounds. That's so impressive. You only have 58 defensive rebounds. That's below average. And he's like, why? And I said, well, look at the 4 guys ahead of you in rebounding, and you have 25 more offensive rebounds than they do, and they have 25 more defensive rebounds than you do. So the game is now, can you lead the United States in offensive rebounding only, which you currently do, and can you lead the United States in defensive rebounding only? And you're a long way away. So you're never going to lead the country in defensive rebounding. So when we get to SEC play, Brad could show it to you guys, and maybe you guys look at it. Who leads the SEC in offensive rebounding? Now, who leads the SEC in defensive rebounding? Andy, I want you to be first in both, because we have to do a better job on the defensive glass, because it's the same kids on the offensive glass as it is on the defensive glass. And so it was my semantics on trying to encourage him. He's hard for us to play without. For a guy that, has he made 2 baskets in SEC play? He's made 3. So he has 6 times the number of rebounds as he does field goal makes. That's crazy. And he has made 1 of our 8 threes, which is just as crazy or bad.
Buzz, do you like him better as a starter or as coming off the bench?
I like whatever he has peace with, because he's going to play the same minutes. I did think, Monaco, that Wildens has a physicality to him that's different than Andy. Henry is probably somewhere in the middle of those two. Henry is very physical, but I thought we were awful against LSU, and I was as mad as I have been probably since I've been here, because I didn't think not that we lost, I didn't think we represented us, the department, the institution, the former students. It was yucky to me. I understand we need to win. I get it. But I'm more concerned with how we go about it, and Bill Walsh let the score take care of itself. And I thought we were awful. And I was as disappointed in Andy as I've ever been. And it really hurt his feelings. And so I said, to her question, I said, maybe I forced it on you. I'm sorry. Go sit over there, and the first time they blow a whistle, just sub in. But I also think Wildens wasn't here in the summer, didn't go to the Bahamas. He is as sweetheart of a kid, as you know, as Andy is. He just hasn't been around all of us, but he has been very well accepted. And I think to some degree it probably helps him mentally. Hey, man, you're starting. You're going to guard that guy right there. This is their play. This is what he does. This is what you do. I think that kind of helps him. Andy's only worried about watching the ball and trying to get it, no matter what end we're on. So, I thought Wildens was really good in the 14 minutes at Auburn to just bang around on 4. So I don't know. I thought it was for sure better on Tuesday than it was on Saturday. Is it because Wildens started and Andy didn't? No, it was because of our mentality. Was our mentality better because Wildens started and Andy was able to peruse what was going on before he came in the game. I don't know.
Anderson called Solo his twin. To have those two twins
Yeah.
come in off that bench, that's hard to match for.
Well, I try not, I don't talk about the injuries. Thank you guys for never asking. No, we haven't played very many games with our group, but we're also 9-6, and we've been beat in those 6 games. But like the people that were here asking me, give me context on the season. And so, like I try to rewind. Henry turned his ankle in the first half against Florida Atlantic. Boots was hurt. They beat us by 7. I hollered and screamed. We watched tape and walked through in the basement. We beat Iowa State on Sunday without both guys. We come home for a day. We leave and we go back to that side of the country. We turned the ball over too many times to beat a Virginia team. Boots didn't play 5 games, and so I just start rattling it all off. Memphis's speed and athleticism. We were a step behind. We didn't look very good. We were a little out of sorts. We're down 21 with 16 minutes to play against Houston and have a chance to win it. I'm just rattling off what we've lived. We've missed Solo's length. We've missed Solo's athleticism. We've missed Solo's ability. Solo's a real defender. We have some guys that play defense that are not defenders. We just don't say that. He doesn't correct our shooting woes, but does he help us create easier shots? To be determined. But Solo, Andy, Henry, Wildens, 2 of those 4, we haven't had that all the time. And you can play any of those 2 anytime, including playing Solo and Andy, and those 2 know when they're in, we do something completely different defensively. If Wildens is in, everybody knows we're doing one thing. If 2 of the other 3 are in, we can do one of 2 or 3 things. And so we just have we have accumulated reps in a very lopsided way of when they're all available to pick and choose what we could do.
Wade said that they're pretty hungry to, get a win in conference play. But how do you make when teams, they might start to press in that, but Kentucky's a team like 6th in the country. Don't want to press too hard against them because you can't beat yourself.
Yeah, I think they want to win, and I'm not a psychologist, but I think it's good when you feel pressure to win. I think we all feel pressure to win in our jobs, and when we don't have success and we care, we want to do better. And if you're not doing that, then you probably have the wrong job. And so Kentucky is probably better than 6th in the country on Monday when we wake up, based on what's transpired this week in college basketball. Coach is a Hall of Famer already. They have 4 one-and-dones on their roster. And you could argue that their best player is not one of those 4. And so they will be the fastest team we've played. They'll be the most talented team that we've played. And 4 nor Buzz have ever beat Kentucky regardless of locale of game. In addition to, it's the first time all year that we've lost 2 games in a row, and it just so happens that both of them are in conference play. And the last time we, excluding Saturday, the last time we had lost in Reed Arena in SEC play was 2 Februaries ago. So, a 4 knows all of that. Now, does that mean that he would say it like that? No, but if you said it, he would go, yes, that's right, that's right. Does everybody on our team know all of that, feel all of that, articulate all of that? No, but that's also why 4 is 4. And so Ford does not want to go 2 of 16 and 0 of 8. Not because he's preseason player of the year. 4 is smart, and 4 loves his teammates, and 4 loves Texas A&M. But 4 is also smart enough to know if you go 2 of 16 and 0 of 8, it's going to be hard for Texas A&M to win. And so, does 4 want to do better? Yes, he does. Does 4 want to do better for himself? Sure. But he wants to do better for himself because he's unselfish enough and smart enough to know, I need to do better so our team can do better. We've played 2 conference games and we've held both opponents to 39% from the field and 23% from 3. Nobody says that because we're 0-2. But we're 0-2 due in part, we're shooting 17% from 3 and 28% from the field. I think the group feels that. And that could be bad coaching. I feel that. And I don't feel that because I'm talking to you guys. I don't feel that because it's ESPN. I don't feel that because it's Kentucky. I think if we were playing Northern Kentucky, Western Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky, I think we have a group that cares and they want to do well. And over the last 2 games, the results haven't been great, but the Auburn loss feels heavier because of the mentality we did not compete with against LSU.
You mentioned Andy was kind of hurt by the anger. What part of that hurt him, and how do you feel like he responded?
He does not want to let his teammates down, and he does not want to let me down. It's I need to be more like Andy. Like he probably watches more tape than any player I've ever coached since Nikhil. Now, I can't necessarily explain the technology and how he absorbs it, but every single time I'm around Andy and it's not practice, Coach, let me show you. And he turns his phone sideways, and he's watching some video from 9 years ago. Coach, look. What are you teaching me today, Andy? Like, he loves ball, and I mean this in the most respectful way. I think he's worn 2 pairs of shoes since he's lived here, and he's probably received 27 pairs of shoes. 25 of them went home. And I think, you know how coaches sometimes say that they want kids to be hungry to compete and hungry to play. It's been my experience. Those ones that have literally been hungry, they process hunger in a different way. And basketball is how he came to the United States, and he's incredibly grateful. And he wants to do well as his token of appreciation for the life that he currently leads.
All right, that's a wrap. Thanks, everybody.